This podcast is brought to you by LOETB Community Education and Adult Literacy for Life.
When I first started here, there was every time I sat down at dinner time, there was never a day that there wasn't a different conversation about something. And I thought to myself, I've never been, I was in clubs, motor railway clubs all my life before we moved here. And I've never come across a group who had so many subjects to talk about. It was never the same. No lunchtime here is ever the same in conversations. It's always about something different. Could be something that's happened that day, something that's happened a week, sometimes it's happened years ago, blah, 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 blah. But it goes on and on and on, And I started saying that I'm going to start recording this. I'm going to start doing videos of it and recording the conversations. And I started doing that. I used to have a wee solid state mic I used to put on the table there, And there was no 2 days the same. And it's magic because it covers everything, And if you're down or you feel like which sometimes we are, and so on and so forth, it does cheer you up. It just gets you going, and you're part of the conversation. Even though you're not particularly part of the conversation, but you're listening to it, you're involved with this, you're listening to that. And there's nobody here in this whole shed that doesn't have something to talk about. Isn't that right?
That's what brings you back. That's
yes.
That's what
well, when I first came, there was not a soul here. When we get flung out the Heritage House, the club did, and Ray very kindly offered us for us to come here, the members that were left, there was not a single person who didn't welcome you or talk to you in that first few weeks, few days. It's been the same right through. Anybody comes in, you talk to them automatically, you chat about this or chat about that, and it could be about anything, any bloody subject under the sun, And it was always, the guys in the shed are very warm, I found anyway.
That's what brings you back.
Yeah. Well, as I say, they always say about the shed, and when I did the well-being video, it was about what the men's shed did for each other. It was about the conversations. As I put it, we've got a wee sequence at the beginning of the videos because some of the boys would like it. And it's a fireplace crackling it. All our chats around the fireplace. That's how. And it just that sums up the essence of a shed. You play snooker. You don't just play snooker. You blether at the same time as you play snooker. Yeah. You have music. If they're having a rehearsal at the back there and trying out different bits of things. The majority is bloody conversation as well as the music. You go into the workshop. And everybody will start saying, "Well, what are you doing? What are you doing today?" And before you know where they are, there's a conversation going. And it's the same in ever we do. And it's been that way since ever I came.
Would it be fair to say then that the social aspect of it is probably front and centre, even though there's lots of other stuff going on?
I think so.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It definitely is, isn't it? And it's never the same, because there's no one of us the same. All of us have come through different history, different things. Okay, I'm a bit different because I come from Glasgow, but all the guys have got different things through the history of the family, or somebody did this, or somebody did that, or my mammy or my dad, and did this sort of thing, and it goes on from there, doesn't it? It's difficult. Just to give you a personal answer, my wife's disabled, so we have limited to what we can do, what we can't do, and limited to what I can do. As I say, on a Tuesday, wife's carers in, so I get up on a Tuesday. But that's about it. So I look forward to every week because I know it's going to be different. Okay, my hobbies, the motor railway side of things, but I'll get involved in whatever I can do on a Tuesday.
You must show me how that model railway thing works one of the days. When I come back down again, you can.
Well, we'll just
when they finally get it completed.
It never gets completed.
There's no station that you arrive in that.
Yeah.
The children's hospital will be open a lot sooner.
Yes. Oh, it has run. now.
It has.
Run. You know, but I mean, it's not be finished for long enough.
But you're right about to say, it is the social aspect. That's the biggie. I think that's what people come down for. It's kind of coincidental that they get involved in other projects, or they might join the shed thinking, oh, I'm interested in woodwork. But the main thing people get out of it is the social interaction. You know, you come in the morning and maybe you've got a spam text. So you start talking about that around it. A cup of tea. Then everybody in the shed becomes aware that this thing is out there. Or somebody has applied for something and they've hit a snag. You know, so you
So
gather.
that sharing of the information
Exactly.
is of assistance to you and helps you.
Yeah, and it's not formal. We don't sit
Yeah.
down and decide, okay,
This is our subject.
today we're going to talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
how to apply
It's natural.
for something.
Well, we're always saying we're going to do that.
That you do it by subject, if you
Yeah,
like.
I know,
Yeah.
it never happened.
Yeah. No. It's probably much more natural this way, and much more sociable to do it this way.
If something needs to be fixed or something breaks down, well, it wouldn't be my sort of thing. I wouldn't have a clue. But I see here you get 20 replies that are different on how to repair the item. So, you know, there's experts in every field, or they think they're
But
experts.
always somebody willing to help you.
Oh yeah,
Always
what do you call it? No, it's what the lads will be doing. They might have a problem with that. I wouldn't be mechanical. It's the lads that be mechanical in arguing. They'd all have 20 different versions on how to do something.
Lovely.
Yeah, and then
And does it always get fixed?
No, not necessarily.
But
The trouble is, you know, you know, you probably know yourself by doing the board and the motor thing. It starts off there.
To me, it's always been about
You know,
the journey,
it's
Ronnie.
not-
It's not about the destination.
It's not the subject that starts it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
whatever starts off and then it all goes round.
Yeah, but that's what's really lovely about it, and that's what. It's not that you're in a hurry to get to a particular point and want to arrive at that. Sometimes the journey is a lot more interesting.
Well, I mean, with like this morning,
Lovely.
Eamon was doing the boxes for the is it ISPC? For the feral cats, you know. So I went in and gave him a hand.
for feral cats.
Feral cats, aye. So I was giving him a hand to do that, and then my colleague that's in the model wheel was doing his stick. He was doing one of the stick things. He's doing a carved stick, and it's all the one with the wood grain and stuff in it. It's really, really nice. But we don't just do what we're doing type of thing. And then there's always a big laugh about the snooker table. There's always an argument going on about that, a good-natured argument.
They're an arrogant shower down there, those snooker players, and they know everything. But try and move them away from the snooker table is a different thing. And I'm not including you, Eamon, because you only go down for a game. You're not there at 11 o'clock in the morning, still there at 3 playing snooker.
But again, I mean, the snooker table, as I said to you before, is another place where it's chat. You know.
It's lovely, though. It's lovely to hear it there, and it's lovely to see it going on.
That's a good one.
And it's a big part of this.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
very lucky to have it, by the way. isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of us like to sit in the shower 24/7. Aren't you, Mark?
I'm
That's-
sorry, guys. I need to meet.
That's David. That fella has a bit of a bad attitude, you know.
You know, at the lunchtime thingy, and Martin and they were having that conversation back and forth, and Martin said, "I don't like the sound of my own voice." You know.
A lot of people don't.
I
Yeah, but he
don't.
he talks about everything.
Yeah.
He can change subject at the drop of a hat. You know, he's a very interesting guy at times. You know, really is. Because he comes up with this and comes up with that and comes up with something else.
Today was the only thing I was talking really about.
Bus stops.
Was what?
Bus stops.
Yeah, but that's very conservative by my standards.
Yeah.
Or it's very plain. I didn't realise there was a nightly service with the town link to Mountmellick. I thought buses stopped about 6 o'clock. But and then I was looking. Problem is, you go to town link, you could stand on the wrong side of the road, think it's the right side, because the town link, you might leave Monkmellick thinking you're getting to Portlaoise, but you have to go through Port Arlington and Memo, and
That's a long journey.
Yeah, you do a tour of the county, Yeah. So it was just a boring conversation about going around the county in the dark in a bus. I should really.
I think what Ronnie was saying was we were having a very interesting conversation here about early televisions and this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. And Martin, as usual, cut in with about his bus journey. Totally off the point again.
Where was the bus stop?
It obviously left an impression, though, Martin.
Oh, it does every time.
No. It was because I didn't know. I was too lazy to look up where the library was in Monkmellick. So, they probably, I suppose I did butt in on a conversation where they were talking about snow on their televisions. Yeah. But seeing as I'm a good bit younger than most of the rest of them here, I remember a clear picture of my telly. I still had a black and white.
You're prone to a bit of exaggeration, a good bit younger. Come on, know that. Jeez. Did you look in the mirror lately?
What do you call it? I'm 11 years younger than
What's
you.
that?
It's a lifetime, it could be, so...
Carry on, Mark.
It's a great service for pensioners. I find it rather dear, certain routes, for one of the only people that actually pays for it. Like, I went one day to Durrow. Well, the strange thing about it is I spent €8 getting to Durrow. It's not that far. I know I tripped around everywhere around Tana and all these places, before I got into Durrow. But it was €8. I suppose, like, Durrow's, you travel to Dublin nearly as cheap. But the thing is, I got a Cavanagh bus leaving Durrow. A Cavanagh's bus leaving Durrow cost me €3. The only person on it, a comfortable bus. When I think the town links are rickety old yoke, some of them, because you can see the road through the hole in the floor. But it's ideal for pensioners who don't drive anymore and want to come in once a week, say, or twice a week to Portlaoise and do shopping. And they don't mind if they hit about 10 villages off the beaten track before going, and well, when it comes down to it, it's a link that wasn't there years ago. Some of them would nearly be housebound now. So people that can't drive, say, certain medical complaints and all that now, have the opportunity now, and I suppose with their bus pass too, and if they have a companion pass, they can bring one of their kids, bring it in shopping with them. They can have a nice...
Don't spend it by the 31st of December. They have to give it back.
Because they didn't spend it in the early part of the year. Yeah. It's a kind of,
happens every year.
It's not just a case of they don't spend it at the end of the year or whatever. It's the same in every country. It's the same over in UK and Glasgow and all the rest of it. Exactly the same there.
Yeah, but to be in Scotland, you don't expect them to spend money anyway, I know, sorry, Ronnie. That's the stereotype.
Oh my God.
The stereotype.
It's the untruth, because in Scotland you're more likely to find somebody that will give them your last penny.
But that's English propaganda. I've Cavan connections, so if you're from Cavan in Ireland, you're called mean. As Neil Tobin says, you eat your dinner out
drawer. So if somebody comes, you can close the drawer real quick. This is strange. Silent, Martin.
And where I come from, I'm East End of Glasgow. My wife is from the posher end of Edinburgh. So Edinburgh was always, and Glasgow was always down there. But I'd take a Glasgow person over an Edinburgh person any day of the week. A Glasgow person, if you ask somebody directions in Glasgow, they are more likely to even take you there. Tell you what bus to get on, what bus to get off, what street to go, the rest of it. That's a Glaswegian. We're very warm and we're very open-hearted. Edinburgh is, I can always give you a reaction that, when I first started going with Joey and met her mum and our dad was quite nice, but our mum was marrying beneath you, marrying a Glaswegian, you know. And when she started using the Glaswegian idioms, if you like, because she was living with me, that thing, you know. Our mother used to say, "How could you, Josephine?" And then it was a case, you know, when she first fell pregnant, it was the same thing. How could you? You'll be born in Glasgow.
You know? Just thinking about that, like, I'm encouraged nowadays not to be stereotyping people and everything else. It's very negative. But when you look upon it, like, every Irishman, when he goes abroad, he's known to be the good crack Irishman, and I've proven that myself to be the case, because I was the good crack Irishman on a foreign trip. You wonder then, okay, culturally, we have similarities, so why should it be so negative to stereotype people? Has it gone too far, like they're not allowed to say anything?
It has gone too far because there's a bit of banter.
No, but not even talking about banter. Like, there is a reality, like, that Irish people are, in general, more up for the crack, that type of thing. Yeah. I remember one time meeting, I was a teacher friend of mine, she was teaching German here, she was a German native, living here in Laois, and I met her one time, after about 3 or 4 years of having seen her, and, "Hello, Imgard, how are you?" "Do you really want to know?" So, of course I don't.
She thought,
everything is literal with them, you know, and that's a huge generalisation, but it is true.
Well, it's been happening when we moved down from Scotland to England because of my job. I've said to the guys before, but I couldn't believe that nobody talked to you. Nobody said hello. In Glasgow, you know, you're always given the time of day or something to chat away to you. It's like, same as here. That's why the Irish and the Scots go in so well.
When you say you'd rather Glasgow any day to Edinburgh, why didn't they make Taggart in Edinburgh? I've seen a few copies, Rough Guide. When they get to the Rough Guide of Ireland, they have Laois as flat. It's a bog and it's flat. I'd love to, whoever wrote it, I'd love to put them on a bicycle and send them around the Slieve Bloom or send them around the Swan and tell them how flat it is.
Paper doesn't refuse ink, you know.
Laois is flat as its accent. The accent might be flat, but Laois is not flat if you decide to get on a bike and cycle. It's fairly hilly as far. Might be like Kerry, from a neighbouring county that we slag off too, and they slag us a bit.
Poor lovely people.
Yeah, said the one thing I must admire about Laois is all the great walks in Laois, because over the last 20 years we've developed, like Emo, Dunmore Wood down in outside Durrow. There's one over Gary Hinch. There's Culla Hill seems to have a great walk. Yeah. Then we have the Slieve Bloom. 200-year-old old oak doors at the entrance, and somebody robbed them. Yeah. You know, that kind of made the castle. They're gone somewhere, they'll never get them back. They had a market for them somewhere. I doubt.
I only went to the Thai market, I'd say.
Yeah, and somebody was using them as firewood then after that.
When I first moved here, they still had the doors.
It was on Crime Line and all that. He starred in Star Wars. He wasn't Luke Skywalker or anything. He had a more minor role, but he was a well-known actor. Sometime in the 50s and 60s. In that house before John Hurt, John Hurt was there in the 80s. Yeah. This fella was there in the 40s and 50s. They made Star Wars, I'd say, about late 70s.
Did you come back and take the doors?
Yeah, well, look, unfortunately the man was dead when the doors went missing.
What condition was the castle in when it had doors?
It has no roof on it.
So it had no roof?
No, but you can climb up to the top of it.
But it had oak doors?
Yeah.
To keep the people out.
So they were begging to be taken.
No, but
they were always open.
Oh, there you are. No lock on them. Sure, they're only begging to be taken.
They served no purpose.
Somebody upcycled them, did the right thing, and made a table out.
They were over 200 years old.
So all the better. They were well seasoned.
Yeah.
They were put to better use than
absolutely
just hanging on
rotting away.
I'm sorry, I was trying
as
to.
As a reminder of our colonial past.
I was a bit serious. These fellas are just,
What? What are we?
Taking the piss, really.